Professor James Momoh, Lagos Network Studio, where Hamid Abiodo, Chief of Staff to the Chairman of MOMAS, and I want to believe you're one of our local manufacturing companies for meters. And the reason why we're having this conversation is because there has been a gap in the capacity of our local manufacturers to meet the demand, irrespective of the different initiatives that have come. Do we have the capacity to ride with this initiative?
Thank you so very much. Let me start by saying that there is local capacity in the country. The bane of the problem in this sector is the fact that deliberately, let me put it that way, we chose not to reckon with the manufacturers in the sector. And if you look at the country very well, and if you look around the world, there is no way you can develop without reckoning with your local manufacturers. Let me go be a little bit, let me say that contrary to what the chairman just said now, manufacturers have always been in this sector. And this is the first time in the history of this country, in the history of the power sector, that manufacturers are being reckoned with. And why all this problem that we have in this sector today is born out of the fact that we refuse to want to develop the sector. Other developed countries that you are seeing, even the Chinese economy that you see today, they started from somewhere. And MOMAS, where I am representing here as the Chief of Staff, has been in this country for over 25 years. And I want to, first of all, commend Mr. President for this initiative. But I will say that this initiative is just a temporary one. When there are key issues that we need to address, even with the deployment of this 1 million meter that we're talking about, we should also be talking about the manpower. That is there, do we have sufficient manpower to deploy this number of meters? I would say no. And given the fact that we are a committed corporate entity that has been contributing immensely to the development of the sector and to the development of our economy and our nation at large, we decided, okay, let us see what we can do on our own as part of our corporate social responsibility, because even the regulatory agency should be concerned about the manpower that will deploy this, that will install these meters. Let me put it that way. And on our own, we decided to select candidates across all the geopolitical zones in the country. They are right there in our premises that I'm talking to you, over 300 youths to be trained on meter installation to complement this initiative by the federal government. And it's in a way, it is to create employment opportunities for our youth. And this is what we've been talking about before now, that when you look inward, there is more to gain. When you decide to develop your own, to accept your own, there is more to gain. Now, as we're talking now, we are just doing this as an eye-opener so that all the states, because we routed these candidates through the state government, so that all the government at all levels can see the potentials in this sector. As I'm talking to you now, in our factory, we have over 200 workers. Because of this intervention by the federal government, we have doubled the shift. It is now over 400. And that is how it will be increasing. Now, there are underlying issues that are to be addressed in the sector. This 1 million initiative is just for the meantime. Metering need, like I used to say, like I normally say, it is like every other need. It is a continuous need. Population is growing. It is not something like when the NERC came up with this idea of wanting to bridge the metering gap by bringing it, they identified that we have metering gap of 5 million meters and all, what have you. We were at the forefront conversing that there is local capacity, capability in the country, that you don't need to inject such a huge amount in Chinese economy. And this initiative that you're seeing today didn't just come up. It is born out of a genuine struggle over the past years. Genuine struggle to ensure that we are not killed. Most of the companies that we grew up to know when we were young, it is policy that killed them. And we will keep saying it. There are still challenges in the country, in the manufacturing sector of the Nigerian, in the power sector. And thankfully, the Federal Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment, when they saw what I'm talking about Momoh, what we have on ground, decided to come up with an industrial policy, which has never been in the sector. Because industrial policy connotes identifying the strength of the players in the sector and support them accordingly. And as I'm talking to you, we are the only original equipment manufacturer in the sector. Part of this industrial policy is to ensure that some of all the raw materials that are not readily available in the country that are being sourced from abroad are made to attract 0% import levy, so that this will encourage us to expand our production capacity. These are the things the regulatory agency should be doing to support the sector. And in a way, by the time all this is in place, we will not have reason to be importing some of these components, because by way of expansion, we will have decided to now say, okay, we want to start also, because we make some of the meter enclosures in the country. We will now decide, okay, we want to start making relay and shunt and what have you. And this will have multiplier effect, not only on our sector, but other sectors of our economy. That is the way to grow. There are issues that are to be addressed. Thank you so very much.
Okay, Mr. Abiodun, earlier on you talked about the fact that local manufacturers of, smart meters are not, given due priority. But we know that even under MAP, the policy stipulates that 30% of what is of meters are sourced from you, and you were not able to fill the gap. Even under, is it a credit advance, whatever, you were supposed to, provide the quantity required, but local manufacturers were not able to meet the gap. So how is it now that you are saying you have not been patronized? And can you give us more insight how?
Maybe I should help you.
Very much, Clara. This meter asset provider scheme that you just mentioned now, the 30% provision of the regulation, there is nothing compelling. This bulk of these MAP members are importers. Permit me to say, there is nothing compelling them to buy from the local manufacturers. Our office is open. You can come. We are open to the media. You can come around and see. Let any one of them come out to challenge us that they sign an agreement with us and we refuse to supply them. Let us be factual here, please. There is no time, any of the meter asset provider approach us that they need meter. You see the way things are. Let me break it down for you. Before you can buy meter or anything from any part of the world, the manufacturer does not know you, so you will start by advancing payment. The same thing applies to meter importation. Maybe you advance payment like 50%. They start production, and after like 3 months, you pay the balance after the production has been completed. Then they ship. That is the way it is done. But in Nigeria here, we want a fire brigade approach. You approach a manufacturer. Do you know how much The cost of having like, let's say 10,000 meters in your warehouse, you know how much it is? Because officially the price of a single phase missile is about 44,000 naira and the three phase is about 82,000 naira. If you multiply it, you see how much it is, and you access loan from the bank and you don't have off-takers. We at Momoh, we've been riding on private and institutions to survive over the past 25 years.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Hamid Abiodun. It's a pleasure, this insights you've given. But you've raised a lot of issues and concerns here, which I think the professor need to really react to them. There are so many issues he mentioned, which I think have to do with your commission.
I think he probably took a wrong direction in trying to attack the commission. The commission, on the other hand, is the one you should be congratulating and applauding for what we have done to make a difference. What do I mean making a difference? We sign on local content. We push local content to encourage, to promote, and to ensure that made in Nigeria for Nigeria is the new thing. Signed by that order by Mr. President, we drove it, we push it, and we ensure that 23 number of manufacturers of meters in this country buy into it, including Momoh. Momoh, we visited you, we applauded your effort, but I don't understand why you will use the media to say that the regulator has not done enough for you. We have done very much to promote you and to promote all other manufacturers. In fact, phase 1 and phase 2 is meant for the local manufacturer under Mr. President initiative, that you all will provide that meter going forward and beyond the next, the 6 million. So hurry up, make sure you have all what it takes to design, develop, implement, demonstrate, and deploy meters. Don't forget, at the end of the day, even when it is locally made, you need to work very hard to make sure your transistors, your chips are made in Nigeria.
But he says
he's not sure.
He says there is no deliberate enforcement. You know, yes,
there is enforcement
for off-takers.
No, there is enforcement. There is enforcement, because there is enforcement. It is part of the thing, that part of the agreement signed by before we give even a map. What is the percentage? What constitutes your 30% local content? You got to define it. Is it the installer? Is it the chip you are going to make? Is it the soldering work that you were doing there that is 30%? We came there. I personally applauded them that we see Nigerian young men and women learning how to do electronic chip design for the first time. I teach in a university. When I saw young people putting what they've learned in school to work, I said, this is the time.
So this initiative, they're going to bear this initiative.
They have to.
It's on their shoulders.
And not only that, don't do it alone in that shop. You need to work with universities, because you need to now invest in how to make new materials. When we talk about smart meter, it's not just based on smart meter IoT of things. There are material contents, silicon, germanium. We have to look at new type of materials. These are serious business. Serious business. Serious business that require collaboration, that require you as manufacturer to coordinate, to begin to invest in research, because the materials that you even ship, that you need to do that work, cannot be made in Nigeria completely 100%. And I'm saying, no, I need to finalize it for him. Please acknowledge what NERC has done in the last few years. What have we done? We drive, we push the manufacturers to participate. We push the MAP to buy from you, and they did. Wherever they could not, we left it open at that time, they could go abroad. But now we are saying that beyond phase 0, we are still allowing MAP to provide meters, whether they've got that meter from abroad. But in phase 1, to provide job for our young people graduating from schools, they will become installers, they will be testers, they will even be designers. I have universities right here in Nigeria who are designing new meters that are going to be smart, that are going to be based on Internet of Things. They're going to use new communication schemes. They're going to be controlled. They're going to have storage. They have photographs. They will have data, just like a new laptop, a mobile phone you have. Wake up. I think it's time. You have a commission that support innovation. This is me.
Professor James Momoh, let's really narrow down this discussion to the presidential metering, mass metering initiative. 23 manufacturers locally in Nigeria.
Yes.
23 of them.
We need more.
I know you should need more because Nigeria is a very large country.
200 million plus.
200 million plus.
Yes.
And over the years, to date, we are still yet to really have substantial number of meters that would go around at least in the first phase. So let's get down to the zero phase, all right? Now, does it mean the 23 don't have the support or their capacity is less or they don't have the funds? What has been the problem?
Well, the 23 will provide the gap that I mentioned earlier. I said for the 1 million that we have money for, let me just translate it into money. Power is money. Power is not talking. Power in, money out. Money in, power out. That's my theory of power engineering. We want to provide 1 million meters. Somebody has to pay for it. But we have a contract, legal contract with some MAPs. They already have meters to be provided to customers, stock in some places. They may take us to court. So we say, bring that meter up, those MAPs, push it out. If it is 40% of such meter that is available, put it 40% of meter is right here. The 60% missing, let's go to the local manufacturers. What can you do more? We just woke up. Where were they all this time? We woke up to solve problem.
Professor Momoh.
So now we are 100% meter equivalent to 1 million to be rolled out between now and December ending. We are running after the meter, the discos. They must provide these meters they have identified with, and the discos and the manufacturer whom we represent must provide this device right away. But they should not stop.
Let's put you on hold. Let's go for a short break. Sorry about that. I can understand your passion. You're watching Good Morning Nigeria. I told you that this is going to be a very interesting discussion because it's a topic that affects almost everyone. Everybody is a consumer of electricity. So let's go on this short break. When we come back, we'll now look at the cost burden on you and me. All right, welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. So let me bring in Professor James Momoh again before we go to Benin. Prof, earlier on I asked if there were hidden charges because the head of corporate communications, BEDC, had given us something like an insight that, in the long run, enumerated customers may bear the cost for whatever is being done under this initiative. Are there hidden charges?
Well, what I think the chief communicator from Benin Disco actually meant with respect to these hidden charges, as far as Mr. President is concerned, the money that is being given to the cost to this initiative is not to be 100% paid for by customers. To me, it's a loan to Disco. They must pay back eventually. So it's not a gift because they are in a business.
A kind of bailout?
Yes, I don't know the word bailout. It may mean too many things. Let me say it this way. We give you this support to solve the problem that is very important to our economy: power, delivery, marketing, selling. Meter is a central processor for getting this done. If that is true, please roll out these 6 million meters. Do not frustrate customers. Do not confront them unless you pay me, I won't give you cost. I won't give you meter. I think that's the sentiment I'm taking away. We must give you this meter. And you will make sure you will pay for electricity now. In fact, to the extent that you'll be so happy, you'll be using more power, more electricity, more energy. But along the way, I'm very sure that the charges that a customer will receive at the end of the day in terms of invoice of electricity usage may include a tiny bit of $0.00001 or naira that may be captured either because of, you may call it service charge or whatever it's called, right? Which every one of us will not mind paying. Maybe that's what he's saying. But I don't think he's going to wake up in 2021 and start saying, customer, you are now going to pay 40,000 naira for your meter. No, it's not going to happen. It's not in the agreement that we are signing with them so far.
But there are always service charges everywhere you go.
Anywhere you go.
Anytime, any day.
So that could be the only charge that they might program, if you call that hidden charge, they can program it in my invoice. I'm a customer too, don't forget. So if I receive my bill and I see a tiny 3 naira per month extra, I don't mind paying. Because I know Mr. President has paid the balance, the difference. That may go on till 2022. When the customer number increases and there is no more support from the government, I'm sure customers are now used to meters, and meters will be cheaper because it will be locally made. Our students will be all over the place. You remember the time you used to buy cheap for the telephone? It used to be like thousands of naira.
Yeah.
Now you can go to the telephone, you want to buy a cheap, it's 200 naira. Do you imagine? 200 naira now. So I'm assuming, and I know it will happen. In technology, will get cheap. In technology, as we advance it, it becomes cheaper. And as you mass produce it, it becomes cheaper. So please don't scare the customer so far to think that there's a hidden agenda that Mr. President is putting meter out there. In 2021, you're going to start paying. 2022, you're going to start paying. Remove it from your mind, customers. Let's get there and we'll work with you. We are going to make sure this sector works economically.